Hi everyone, welcome back to Meso Moves. I've got another nice sequence for you today. Hope you're all doing good. I'm here with my horrendous COVID root situation, first world problems. If you have been moving with us for the last few sessions, you know what to do. However, if you're new and you haven't done it yet, there's a few videos for you to catch up with, so go and have a look at those. And as always, I start by saying nothing is high maintenance or high impact in this little sequence. Everything's pretty cool. So just follow along and always just tune into your own body. If anything doesn't feel quite right, then just stop. And I always recommend to have a little glass of water on the side in case you want to take a little sip of water at any point. That's it, let's get going. So we're going to do a little sequence that starts in 4-point kneeling. So you're going to come into 4-point kneeling. So you'll remember when we looked at this previously, in our 4-point kneeling, we move from a nice neutral spine, and our nice neutral spine comes from a nice alignment. So we're looking for the knees to be under the hips, and then we're looking for the wrists to be under the shoulders, and a little kind of soft bend. So the little creases of the elbows should be kind of roughly facing each other, and a little softness through the elbows as we're not locking out, a little softness. And then the eye gaze is kind of just in between the two hands, just forward, to give us that nice neutral placement of the neck. And we're just going to start with mobilizing the spine. So we're breathing in, we're drawing our abdominals up away from the floor before we move. On our exhale, we start to tuck the tailbone underneath us, so we're rolling our pelvis on the top of our thigh bone, and then the spine just responds, so the whole spine just flexes. The head hangs down towards the floor, so crown of the floor towards the head. The eye gaze is in between the thighs. We're pressing the mat away with our hands nice and strong through the shoulders. We're taking a little breath in here, and then as we exhale, we're just lengthening back out, so sending our head and tail away from each other, lifting up through the breastbone, and we're back to our nice neutral position of the spine. So back to our nice start position. Watch that you've not dropped, so we're always active, so think of the breastbone lifting up, and think of your collarbone staying nice and wide. We're nice and long through the spine. We're going to do 2 more just like that. So breathing in, as you exhale, start to tuck that tailbone. The spine will just ripple through all the way to the crown of the head as it drops, pressing the floor away, drawing the abdominals in towards the spine, so they're hugging the spine the whole time, giving you that nice stable support. Looking after that lumbar spine, giving the support all the way up. And then we're releasing back into our neutral. 1 more just like that, breathing in, exhale to move, pressing the floor away, nice stretch for the low back, press to open between the shoulder blades, head heavy, exhale. And then you're just lengthening back out into your nice neutral position. Good. From there, we're going to do some tricep presses. So we stay nice and neutral in the spine. So try and again think about those abdominals drawing up to protect the low back, give you that nice base of support. You're going to take a little breath in, and then on the exhale, you're just going to take a little bend at the elbows, and then the body kind of lowers down towards the floor, and then you're going to press back up. Keep the breastbone lifting and press the floor away. So keep the neck as well nice and neutral. So just keep the eye gaze down, kind of gently just looking in between the 2 hands. And we're just lowering the body down. I'm obviously just twisting my neck here so I can kind of look and speak at the same time. We're just lowering the body down and pressing the floor away. Keep that breastbone lifted, keep the collarbones nice and wide as you come back up into your nice neutral position. So just building strength in the triceps. Try and keep those elbows a little bit soft as you come back to your start position. Try not to lock them out too much. Keep scooping the abdominals up away from the floor. You'll see my little tail, I've got a hairband holding up my t-shirt so it wasn't kind of hanging down, just so you could see the spine a little bit better. Pressing down, let's do 2 more. You can do as many of these as I always say, or as little, it's up to you depending on how you feel. Some days you may feel you could do 20, some days you may feel you can only do 2, and that's all good. And then we're taking a little pause here. Good. From here we're going into thread the needle, which is our nice rotation. So we take one hand to face the eyes, and we're going to thread it underneath the supporting arm, taking a little bend, and we're going to take a little rotation through the ribs with it. Okay, so we breathe in, we exhale, we start to thread this, we follow the hand, we take the bend at the elbow, and we just keep following the hand, lowering down. So this is like a one-armed press up. We're nice and warm through the spine here, and then we place the hand back down. Other side, taking a little twist through the spine. You'll see the pelvis is staying nice and neutral, well, not neutral, but nice and supported. It's not kind of moving back or forward, and I'm not pushing my bum back to allow myself to rotate. So you're using your core control to take that rotation through the spine. Nice, lovely twist for the spine. So rotation, one of the movement planes that we kind of lose as we get older. You'll see children are rotating all the time. You kind of lose it. We stay in this flex, this extended position all the time. So this is a really lovely one to do, to switch things up a little bit. If you can manage a few more, go on and do a few more. If it's feeling a little bit tender on the wrists, of course, you take your bum back to your heels, tuck your tailbone underneath, restack the spine nice and tall, and take a little shake out of the wrist here. And don't forget to kind of work the fingers as well. If you do have kind of tender wrists, you can roll a towel and put your sort of hands with the wrists a little bit, give the wrists a little bit of extra support if you need to do that. Or if you're working on a mat, you can roll the mat back and do the same thing. But of course, take a little break. If the weight's too much for the wrists, sometimes it takes a little bit of time to build strength in the forearms and the shoulders and the wrists as well. Good. So coming back into a nice neutral position there, we're going to do a little tabletop. So we're going to breathe in, we're going to exhale, we're going to send one leg long, keeping the floor, the toe in contact with the floor. You're going to take the hand in line with the shoulder. So my legs in line with my hip, my arms in line with my shoulder. Take a deep breath, draw those abdominals in towards the spine again, always that nice little base of support to move from. Think about keeping the two hip bones facing down. Think about keeping the two shoulders facing down so the torso's nice and square. And then you're just going to lift and lengthen and stretch out through the toes, reach out through the fingers. You don't have to get your hands away up in line with the shoulder. If this is where you're working to and you're keeping your balance, then that is so much more important. Everything back down to your start position, and we're going to switch sides. So other side, just floating and lifting. Think long, reaching through the crown of the head, the fingers, the toes, going nice and long. Everything back down. And pull everything back in towards your start position, in towards your centre. Good, one more to each side. And if you don't quite get the breathing, there is a little kind of breathing. You hear me talking about inhaling and exhaling a lot. Just breathe normally. Just don't forget to not breathe and hold tension, because the whole point of a practice like Pilates, it's classed as a mindful form of movement. And so we're trying to aid that kind of relaxation. So just breathe normally is not massively important. Beautiful. Good. Once you've done a few of those, again, feel free to crack on if you're enjoying that and do a little more. Take your right leg back, and then we're just going to transition onto our side. So we're just going to scoot round, and we're going to take a nice stretch. So now we've just kind of, all we've done there from this position is moved the supporting leg around to the side, and then we've just opened up through the torso to take the hand in line with the shoulder. And then your opposite leg is kind of extended out from your hip, and you're just going to take a nice stretch. So the eye gaze stays forward, just a nice stretch, or you can keep the arm up in line with the shoulder if that feels nice too. You get a nice long stretch to the side of the body, active out of this arm. So you can't really see my shoulder, but I'm pressing actively, so I'm not sinking into my shoulder. I'm nice and active, and we're taking this big long stretch. I'm looking at how awful my roots are, my hair. Can you see that? Oh, don't tell anyone. Good, nice big stretch. Watch you've not lost your lumbar, your connection to your centre. You've gone into your lumbar spine. So the glutes are really active. They're pressing the pelvis, the hips nice and open. And we're just taking a nice kind of side stretch. Keep the head in line with the spine. Good. From there, bring the hand back up. Take it behind your head. And you're going to see if you can do little lifts and taps of the leg. This is a really strong move. There's a lot of core strength here. You really take the glutes firing as well. So even if you just manage one or two, it's all good. You're pressing actively out of that supporting hand as well. Good. Breathing in. See if you can do one more. See if you can hold it. Imagine somebody's pulling your toes in that direction. Good. Down. And then you're just bringing the hand back down, pivoting back on that knee and coming back into your nice 4-point kneeling. We're going to take that again on the other side. I'm going to switch round so you can see. Otherwise you wouldn't be able to see me. So we slide the leg back first, We take that little pivot with the supporting leg, and then we just rotate open towards the sky, pressing out of that hand. Draw this leg back in line with the hip. I know you can't quite see me, but it's nice and in line with the hip. If anything, it's a little bit forward of the hip to keep me a little bit out, to protect my low back. So just bear that in mind. Hands straight up, take your nice stretch over to the side. So think about pressing up through the waist, underneath the waist is lifting into the top waist. Nice open stretch for around the hip and the side of the body. And there's my horrendous roots again, oh dear. Good, beautiful. Hand back up, take it behind the head. We'll just do our little lifts and taps on this side. So keep nice and active in your supporting arm all the time. Those abdominals are on to protect the low back. The glutes are firing to keep the hips nice and open and to keep us out of our low back the whole time. Good. So, like I say, we did 5 on the other side. If you can kind of get to 5 on this side, or if you can just do 2, it's all good. Beautiful. And then on the last one, see if you can float that leg up. Imagine somebody's got your toe and they're pulling your leg out of your hip. So really reaching through the foot, drawing the abdominals down to give you that nice support. And then bringing the foot back down, bringing the hand back down, coming back into your 4-point kneeling, bum back towards your heels, take a little child's pose there. So a little moment to yourself to rest and take stock. That's quite a strong sequence that we've just done there. So take a little moment to come to you. Just let the body absorb everything. Take a little sip of water if you need to do that as well. Beautiful. Good. Perfect. From there we're going to come up into a nice high kneeling position. So we're just going to take a little chest press and a little thigh press, thigh stretch at the same time. So we're just in a high kneeling, we're hip distance and parallel with the knees. So if I were to face you, I look like this. I have a nice Meso t-shirt on. And from the side it looks like this. So you'll notice that I'm not sinking into my low back here. So I have my glutes really switched on to open my hips. That's really important. And that protects my low back. So there's no breaking at the hips to go into what we'd call flexion. We're in a nice long spine. The sides of the waist are nice and long. We're using the glutes actively to keep the hips open. The arms are just going to be in front in a nice position from the shoulder. So just in line with the shoulder. You're going to take a little breath in, and as you exhale, pressing the glutes to support, hinging from the hips, not the hip, drawing the abdominals in towards the spine. We're just going to hinge back to give the thighs a stretch. You should feel this in the thigh. And we're going to press all the way back up. So good, guys. Let's go with 2 more. Scoop the abs, press the glutes, hinge from the hips. Yeah, good, so good. So there's no hinging from here and losing your connection. Glutes are on, hips are open. Last one here. We're going to hold back on this one, and we're just going to take a little scissor of the hands, and as one arm drops down, rotate the head to look to the arm that's kind of below you, that's gone down to the side of your hip. So it's almost like you're doing a little march. See if you can flex the arms all the way up to the side of the head. Maybe just do 1 or 2, whatever feels right for you. The most important thing is that you do not lose that connection with the glutes and go into your low back, yeah? So strong tummy, strong glutes, so keep you nice and centered. Beautiful. From there, you can just take a little rest, so you can bring your bum back down towards your heels. You can take a little moment there. And from there, we're just going to do a little rotation again through the spine. So we're going to come into this nice kind of, I was going to say high kneeling, but we're going to take it here. And we're just going to bring the arms out. Make sure you can see my t-shirt. We're just going to bring the arms out in front of us in line with our shoulders. And we're just going to take a breath in. And then as we exhale, we're just going to open to the side. And we're just going to follow the arm. So we're kind of rotating from the hip. In this position, our pelvis is kind of nice and stable anyway. The other arm just stays in line with the shoulder the whole time. And then we're just following the hand with the head. But think about rotating, opening from the ribs, yeah? And closing all the way back. So ribs opening, one rib is going forward, back in space, one rib is coming forward this way. And if that's really kind of like quite confusing for you, you can bring the arms here and you can do a little rotation this way as well, because sometimes that allows you to feel the ribs moving more than the head and the shoulders, because they can take over in rotation, and then it's not a true rotation. So the rotation is coming from our upper mid back, and the ribs are kind of moving around our spine. It's really nice. Good. And then we're just keeping the head in line with the breastbone. The arms are staying with us, so we're not moving the arms. We're moving from the ribs. Shoulders down the back. Head stays in line, so it's head, neck, upper, mid, back. Back to centre. Good. Smile. 2 more each way. Breathing in. Good. And then from there, just drawing the arms down by your side. Take a little breath in, drawing the arms up behind the head. Draw the arms down, raise the shoulder blades up, drop them down, hands up, pressing the arms all the way down. And that is our little sequence for today. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, if you've got any questions, get in touch with the guys at Meso UK. I hope everyone's doing good this week and hanging in there. I'm dying to get to the hairdresser. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.